Y'all.
You don't stop. How
I
about
keep
that?
on to the break of dawn.
It's on and on like a hot butter on the pot.
With your popcorn. That's right. That's what you call 50 years of hip hop. Yeah, right. Talk about it. Dibba dibba die. So socialize. Clean out your ears and open your eyes. Come to the door with the donation. Hear the best sound and the hit creation right here. GenesisRadio.com. It's the boss to call DJ Hot Sauce. We in the building. DJ Run. Yo, the most interested DJ in the world is in the building, and we here on the TP Square Show. That's how we doing that. That's how we doing that, yo.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Everybody's in the building today.
Everybody's in the building, man. It's a
Three Horsemen's in the building.
The three.
You know what I mean? What y'all know about that?
Yo, the Three Horsemen.
We talking 50 years of hip hop, man. What's up, Rod?
What's up, man? Yo, Rod, what's up, baby?
I don't know. I'm really not that old like y'all,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna try to help y'all out a little bit.
Listen. I'm not that old, but because I was a crate carrier, I have some knowledge.
Oh, you heard of
what? I heard a few things.
Your uncle told you how it works.
That I could relate to. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny,
yo. That's real funny, man. That's
why am I in an echo, man? Who got their phone on, man?
It's gone.
Oh, okay.
It's gone.
I thought that was
mine's dead.
No, that was me, you know.
Oh, listen, man.
Okay, the board. Okay.
The
board of directors.
Board of directors.
Board of directors. We're in the building, man.
So, yo, let's get to this thing. 50 years of hip hop.
Yeah,
wow.
let's,
wow.
Yo, man. It's incredible, man. You know what I mean? And because me personally, I have seen and recognized and learned a whole lot in this music industry, and I consider myself a pioneer. I consider you all of us here are pioneers because we was in this era.
I kind of agree with you, bro. We were here.
No, we seen it.
And we still here.
And we still here. That's right.
We still here. And there's a lot of people out here just like us.
Just like us.
A lot of people just like us.
But envy of us at the same time. Like, I don't know why we can't come together as DJs. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody's phone is on.
Not me. Right.
Okay, there we go. Mr. He hear echo. That's the echo chamber. Yes, y'all.
1 1 1 2 2 2.
See, now I believe he's not from the era because he just snitched on me. He said that wasn't me, that was Rod.
Listen.
See,
I ain't got no.
See what I'm saying?
He looking dead at you.
he didn't know who it was, man.
Is that?
I looked at he like who
didn't know who it was.
He's like, who me?
Yo, that's cold, man. All right, I get a slap for that. I get a slap for that one.
Yeah, that go back only like 35 years to stop snitching.
I get that.
I ain't mad at you, man. We going 50 back. 50
man, for real. But what I want to say about that is, and as I was telling TP, they saying 50 years. 50 years today is 1973.
Wow.
Hip hop didn't start in 73. There's no way hip hop started in 73. Now,
no, it didn't start in 73, and they didn't start calling it hip hop till about 81.
Give or take.
82 is when they coined the term hip hop, if not mistaken. But you know, my pops and my uncle Vincent, God rest their souls, when we were talking about hip hop, you know, rapping, music, and all this other stuff, they said, man, we was doing that stuff through the civil rights era when they started that in the mid 60s.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
And then when you listen to a lot of them old songs, you know, cats was rapping back then. You know what I mean? Literally, we just didn't have a name for it. You know what I mean? And it was just blended in with regular music. And then DJing, cats was DJing in the late 60s with 2 turntables and a mixer. They just had knobs, no crossfader.
Yeah. Now the knob mix is dope.
That's where all these controllers got knobs.
Well, you know what?
Mixers is dope.
That's true, because a lot of people can't scratch and cut.
And it wasn't all about that.
It wasn't.
Right. All that
was developed later when it, like you said, when it became hip hop.
You know what? And listen, the cutting and scratching part didn't even happen. That came late 70s, I want to say.
77
or early 80s.
75 between that.
Because you know what? The disco era was still rocking and
still popping.
That's what I'm about to tell you.
Because nobody was cutting and scratching "Love Is the Message." They was playing the song.
You didn't need to do that.
They was playing the song. You know, you had Ain't No Stop and those type of records. They had 15, 20 minute versions of those songs.
Yeah.
They was just playing those songs.
Yeah.
Man. You know what I mean? So wasn't no cutting and scratching.
It was a real long version.
Now the cutting and scratching, I salute the Bronx for the cutting and scratching. You know what I mean?
Bronx, Harlem.
I salute them for that.
You know, Harlem World, you know, Mardi Gras, Grand Wizard Theodore. He used to, you know,
he
used to start
out to Grand Wizard
Theodore.
Yeah, Grand. Yeah.
When they started doing all that
with the Mardi Gras. Yeah.
Absolutely.
But when I first was in Brooklyn, where I grew up, when I first was hanging out, like in the park jams, like you said, it wasn't a bunch of scratching. There was a bunch of like "Love Is the Message." It was all that. Let's all chat. It was like
Express.
from the
Doing the
disco era,
yeah,
up into the It's pretty much. It was very similar to what house music is today. If you ask me, it was more about the blending on beat, and it was a constant do. It wasn't all of that. You know, you're creating your own beats and all that stuff. It was just knowing what to play, how to blend it in, and how to keep the people jumping. If you didn't know how to keep the record on beat, you pretty much was done in the hood. Pretty much. Don't come back.
So I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I heard it too.
You know,
I'm just telling you what I heard.
Now, hip hop and the scratching. Like what year was the fever? Because I'm quite sure scratching was around when they came when they started going in the parks, right?
Well, I'm gonna say this: the fever was the early '80s, man.
Yeah, it happened before the fever.
So they came in the park in the '77. It
came in the park. You know, I want to say, what year was Good Times? 78.
Oh, what year was Good Times?
Good Times was 78.
So that's when they came to the park.
That's when it came to the park.
Good Times, Rock Skate, Roll Bounce.
Yeah. All that was 78.
Because it was the same music. It was the same.
Yeah.
Good Times is a lot of records, man.
That's when they started cutting the record to the bone. You know.
Freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
We started playing break beats, and that's when sampling started coming into. Like, we really went through it.
Like I said, big shout out to all them cats from the Bronx, man, because they did the break beats, you know. So Kool Herc, he started playing the break beats, you know, and Theodore, he started cutting and scratching, as far as I know, and it just caught on, man, you know. But I could say one thing: Queens and Brooklyn had sound systems. The Bronx had speakers. They had hi-fis. You know what I mean? They just had to speak in the window, playing out the window.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
You're gonna cut this out.
No, I'm going back. I'm going back.
I'm just
the word on the street.
Ain't nobody in the Bronx had no server in Vegas back in '77. All right. They didn't even have no gym sounds. They had Gerard's or whatever it was. That they would put in the window. They really wasn't even setting up in the courtyard.
I can't totally agree with that.
Okay.
Because, you know, I lived in the Bronx, you know, long time ago. That was my first spot on my own.
Talk about it. That's right.
But I'm gonna tell you what I witnessed though.
Okay.
Because it wasn't a hip hop. The hip hop guys didn't have the sound system. The reggae guys had the sound system. Like when I went up on White Plains Road. Them Jamaicans had systems. Whether they was built their own speakers or whatever it was, that joint was them joints was rocking.
What I'm talking about, Rud, I ain't talking about when all the Jamaicans took over the Bronx up there, Gun Hill Road up there in the 240s and all that stuff. I ain't talking about that.
Across the street,
I'm talking about Moody's.
You
record store.
You talking about the 90s and stuff like that. I'm talking about late 70s, early 80s. The Bronx got sound systems in the early 80s. You know, big shout to Tony Crush. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm talking about when Michael Goody and all them and Flowers and all them from Brooklyn had them sound systems.
Oh, no, nobody had nothing like Flowers and App.
Right.
Remember App?
That's right. That's what I'm saying. So none of the DJs in the Bronx had that. You know what I'm saying? You know what? In fact, they didn't start getting no real sound system until the blackout in 76. When they started looting, when they looted all the stores, that's when they got real equipment in the Bronx. But the cats in Queens and in Brooklyn, from them 2-parent households, had sound systems already. You know what I mean? The Bronx stole these sound systems, but you know, I'm gonna stop right there.
You heard.
So you might have to stand up for the BX.
So it's about to get at me.
You gotta stand up for the BX, man.
No.
I'm gonna stop right there. He knows it's true.
Listen,
where was you at in 76?
I do know that's true.
A few weeks ago in 1976, where was you at? I was sitting on the steps in the front yard at the crib. You know what I mean? My brother went down there and looted AIDS and came back with mini bikes. I remember that.
Mini bikes with the lawnmower.
Yes.
all I know.
With the pull.
All I know, I do know this. When I came to the Eastwood Manor and put the whole wall of speakers up, nobody up there never seen nothing like that. They was like, "What in the heck is about to happen in the Eastwood Manor tonight?"
Yo.
Yeah, we like it's never gonna be the same. We're gonna knock the plaster off the walls and everything.
Shout out to Eastwood Manor.
Shout out to the Eastwood Manor. That
real,
place
man.
was around
that's
for a long time.
Very long.
Keep a lot of parties there.
Listen, man, that's home team right there. Because when they need a 911 call, they call on the boss, of course.
DJ Hot Sauce.
DJ Hot Sauce. That's right. Make it happen. Shout out to Mike, the manager. I think he's the manager. He's still there. And
wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, Mike from Eastwood Manor. Good dude. Y'all check out Eastwood Manor if y'all need some parties thrown up on East Chester Road and the cross street Boston Road, uptown in the Bronx. You know what I mean?
There you go, a little shameless self-promotion.
I still have my original speakers.
Wow.
From the Bronx.
Wow, that's impressive.
I still have them. Where you have to screw the back out to put the woofer because the cones, you know.
But check this out. Let me take y'all back. You talk about hip hop, right? For the cats who wasn't real good DJs, they brought the plates. Remember those plates? Remember Work Song? Plate that, if I'm not mistaken, that had "I Can't Stop" an Apache on it.
Oh,
remember that Work Song plate?
Ooh.
So, Roy, you remember who made that plate?
That's my joint.
You remember who made that plate?
Who made that plate?
Mike from the record shop on Sufton Boulevard in Jamaica Avenue, between Sufton and Archer. Mike made that plate. Work Song.
Wow.
That's crazy.
White dude, yeah. Mike from the record shop. He made that plate.
That's crazy.
And you know what? Everybody brought that plate throughout the city. Everybody who was a DJ had that plate. And Mike's record shop was a sleeper. You know what I mean? Was a sleeper. Only if you knew, if you wanted to get plates, you knew to go to Mike's. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that was the most popular plate. He had a whole bunch of them, but the most popular one was that Work Song plate. You know what I mean? It had "I Can't Stop" on it and Apache on it. You know, and that was the bomb, man.
Is that when the white labels came out? Everybody was snatching white labels.
Yeah, but keep in mind
afterwards. I think.
That plate was smaller than an LP, right? But bigger than a 45. You know what I mean? It was somewhere. 10-inch. It was somewhere in the middle.
It was a 10-inch.
You know what I mean?
Because albums are 12-inch, so it had to be a 10-inch. 45's a 7-inch.
So it was somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean?
That's
Big shout out to Mike. May he rest in peace. He died a few years ago.
Oh,
but those numbers wasn't about the size. It was about the speed that could play on. So it could have been
it could have been a 33
record, and it's playing on 33 or 45. So.
Yeah.
And it's
when I said 45, you know what I mean? The small size.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it had the little pinhole in it, like a album.
Like an album.
You know what I'm saying? But it was smaller than an album. You know what I mean? And it was heavy. Remember, right? They were heavy. They wasn't like a record. It was heavy. You know what I mean?
It was real.
So it was a real play.
That white label thing. I'm say the opinions of us right now on the air is not necessarily that of Gynesis Radio or its sponsors, because that white label thing got out of control.
It did.
You know, it was
well, actually that was bootlegging.
Yeah, it was bootlegging 101, and you know, it was a lot of people feeling some type of way. They was actually you know, they was busting their guns over these stuff on a white label. It really got to it went to a high escalation red alert type of situation. Not DJ red alert. I mean red alert, panic red alert.
Because that white label, the song wasn't even finalized yet. Like if you made a cut in the studio, that's what it was.
It could have been a few things, and you know what?
Also, like, I got the first one.
Also, with a lot of the white label stuff, it was records that was out there. People go out and find records, and DJs wanted to be the only one who had it, so they would black out the label, or they would put white stickers on it, so that nobody would know the name of the record.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, because a lot, like, let me tell you, a lot of that stuff, you know, that they was playing uptown, nobody knew the names of that stuff. You know what I mean? It was like the cats from Queens was like, yo, what is that? You know what I mean? If you didn't have a family member that lived uptown in the Bronx somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Or if you didn't have the cat that was carrying the crates, who's like,
who knows?
Who knew what it was?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, unfortunately, a lot of cats, the DJs, they would black out the label, but they would only black out one side of the label of the record. So if you flip the record over, you can see who made the record and what the album was that it was on. You know what I mean? And then somebody would say, oh, that was so-and-so. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, you know, that Bob James Mardi Gras. A lot of people didn't know that was Bob James Mardi Gras when they first started playing that.
Nah, I didn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But if somebody that was in the jazz heard this, oh no, that's Bob James. You know what I mean? They cut that Bob James.
But I'm gonna tell you what else it was, because you can't overlook that you had to buy 2 of each record if you want to really cut something. And some of this stuff was only on albums, and albums were costing like $12.99 to $15. So if you really wanted to get 2 songs, you had to buy $30 worth of music, and you buying it just for that one song. So that became very expensive. So the white labels also cut costs, because they would put like 7 or 8 break beats on one white label, like a break beat volume 1. They would you said, they would put multiple stuff on there, so that was saving us money. Because honestly, man, I used to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge to go to J&R Music World to buy like a Michael Jackson album or something, and if I had to buy 2, I'm in for $30. You know what I mean? So having those options was important, and like TP said, a lot of that stuff, unless you was outside, you didn't know what that stuff was. You know, now that was the fun of it, though, to me. Like, now it's too easy. You hear something playing, I hear hot sauce playing, so I just hit my phone.
That's right.
It tells me what it is, you know.
You know, back then it was like
we cheating here.
It was like being on a scavenger hunt back then.
It was.
You know what I mean? To find out what the name of that
record was.
You don't know how happy I was at the beginning of the show. You say, yo, play Russ' intro song, and Hot Sauce didn't have it. That made me feel I'm like, yo, I got some joints that everybody don't got. That's how I used to feel back in the day.
That's how I am too.
And he got some stuff in his thing. He's like, yo, we gonna trade files. I'm gonna let you get a little bit of this. You gonna get a little bit of that.
Yo, because every time
that's the fun of it.
That's right. Because every time we play, you say, wait a minute, Sauce. And you know, I'm gonna need that, man.
I'm gonna need that. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna need that, though.
I'm gonna need that, man. Just like when we did that joint up in Yonkers.
That's how records used to be.
when you and I did that party in Yonkers?
Of course.
And that joint hit, you was like, wait a minute, what's that right there?
Yeah.
I'm gonna need that.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that.
But you know, even today, as we speak, like I don't know half of the names of certain songs because I didn't know what it was. Could you see? Yeah, you could see yourself. But going to the record shop and you gotta sing the song and say, yo, you know what this song is? You know, and he'd be like, oh, okay, I know what that is. That's this, and he'll pull it for you.
That's
but just imagine with all the music that's out there today, all the music that you guys carry on these hard drives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine if you still had to carry records in crates. You know what I mean?
Yo,
some DJs,
you need a U-Haul.
We would have a lot less music with us.
And listen, you'd have a lot less music with you, and you wouldn't have a U-Haul if you had to have records and crates. You need a damn tractor trailer.
Yeah.
You have your sound system, and then just records. Half the tractor trailer be full of records.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If that's what you had to do, you know. So technology has changed the game a lot. Part of this 50 years of hip hop, man. You know,
right.
The record game was crazy. You know, we were talking about turntables, man. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I remember I was telling you my first set of turntables I got. My pops, mother and father, they brought me. I think I had some Technique. I think I had B210s. I think that's what I had. I don't know if it was 210s or 212s or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I had to, you know. And I sold them to Ant down the block when I got upgraded to the 1200s. You know what I mean?
Curve off.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
My first joint was straight arms.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
From PC Richard.
Them straight arms was ooh.
But it made my pops day because when he brought them, I could have got anything I wanted because the cartridges was Pickering cartridges. Yeah. So once he saw that made me feel good. All right, okay. That's our last name. So,
you sold.
All right.
How bad could it be, right?
Yeah, how bad could it be?
Right. That's right.
You know,
if my name on it, they gotta be good.
Right.
Yo, you remember pictures you had to use with your thumb?
Mm-hmm.
Pictures, they didn't have a level.
Nope.
You had to try to center it yourself and take white out
mm-hmm.
and put it. That was your center. That was your marker. Putting the white out on the pitch on your thumb. That was crazy, man.
Yeah.
Like my first.
I don't remember all that. Like I said, y'all a little older than me.
Yeah, okay. The most, but he's the most interesting DJ in the world, right?
Right.
Yeah. What's that?
Now I saw this. I didn't own it. I saw it.
You heard.
I saw it
these jokers.
Because my first pair of turntables was wooden, so I had to go off of that. They was BSRs.
Mm-hmm.
I remember those.
Them BSRs, it had no pitch, no nothing. I just had to put a 45 underneath there to keep it from
direct drive joints.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. No belt drive, direct drive.
And it was wood.
And if you had to mix it, you had to mix it with knobs. No crossfader.
Nope. Mm-mm.
But the first mix I had a crossfade on it, man. I had a little Gemini with mine.
Yo, I had automatic. Then after the BSRs, I had automatic Geminis.
Mm-hmm.
What's an automatic Gemini?
I'm glad you said that. Automatic Geminis didn't have a belt. So it was between belt drive and direct drive.
Mm-hmm. One was belt driven and one was gear driven.
Right. So when you let go, you actually had to press down and let it go. You had to master that yourself.
How'd you get in the game, TP? What made you like fall in love with hip hop and stuff like that? What was it for you? So everybody had their moment, their aha moment.
Well, for me, living in front of Ajax Park, you know what I mean? And Michael Goody and them. I had Lincoln Park on one end, and then I had Ajax Park right across the Van Wyck, which was literally in my backyard. You know what I mean? So I was a young bull, man. I might have been about 7, 8 years old, man. You know, when they first started playing music in Ajax Park with them Survey Vegas out there and hearing that music loud and clear, boom, boom. I heard it, man, before I could walk across the bridge and go to the park. You know what I mean? My brothers and sisters took me over to the park, you know, and then standing there watching this stuff, it's like, oh, this was amazing. You know what I mean? I was hooked then, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I was hooked right then and there. I was like, yeah, I want to do this. I want that. You know what I mean? You know, that's what got me, man. I ain't even gonna front, man. It was Infinity Machine and Cypher Sound got me, man. You know, Phase 3, all them cats, because they was. I'm saying I'm going back to like 77, 78.
Phase 3 been out for
You know what I mean?
a long time.
That's
boy.
right, man. That's right.
All right,
You
so
know,
what about you, man? What was your aha moment? I'm all in now. What was it?
It was for me when I got pulled behind the ropes. That was it. That was it for me. I stood there and I just looked and I just watched. And I looked some more and I just watched. And they just took me. They just grabbed me from the front because you could tell who's observing. You know, you got people standing there watching how you do your thing back and forth and all that. But for some reason, I grabbed his attention. Shout out to Bernard Haywood, Master Ice, or Jazzy 5 MCs. Pulled me under the rope. And then he told me to sit down on the bench. He said, yo, don't touch nothing. Just sit there. And as I was sitting there, I got to see actually behind the table of everything.
Wow.
Of everything. Now, this is outside. Inside, which the apartment, my mom would play all these songs that I hated. I kid you not, man. I hate it. I used to ask my mom, why are you playing these songs? Why are you playing it? I used to hate it. So I used to cry because she played it. And I didn't want to hear all that. But then I would go in the living room and sit there and start listening. The music had me rocking. So now, guess what? My mom's working at Corvettes at the time. So now that I got intrigued, DJing, music, so you know, grandma was with you back then. So they got me a set. Mom's worked at Corvettes, bringing albums home. That was nothing for her because she worked there. You know what I mean? So then after that, I just never stopped. I never looked back. I just kept going.
That's
from
good,
here on, man.
I had some of those same experiences y'all guys had, but the other thing that nobody's admitting here is that the DJ always got the chicks, man. The DJ was the popular guy. If you was the DJ, if you was the DJ and you was a good DJ, you was getting parties. Like I enjoyed the whole thing. Of course, I enjoyed that part too, being behind the ropes and all that. But actually getting a couple of dollars to play music at these little basement parties, and I remember like dancing up for Always and Forever. You know, grinding up on the girls and all that stuff as a young boy. That was exciting, bro.
Let me tell you, because you said that, not to cut you off. The minute I started doing center parties, that was it. I wanted to do a party all the time after that.
No doubt.
You got paid from a center party? It was $1 to get in. A center party.
Well, I was never that good of a DJ. I could play record. I was always a record player, you know. I could get busy a little bit, but I was more of a record player, you know what I mean? And I didn't do it to get parties, you know what I mean? I just did it for the experience. You know, I wasn't thinking about making money being a DJ. I just did it in the crib. You know what I mean? Take it outside in the backyard and stuff like that because, you know, my pops just gave me stuff to keep me busy and keep me out of trouble.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I wasn't thinking about money because, you know, I was good.
But look at you today. Look where you at. You controlling the board, the monitors, the cameras, and everything. That's DJ stuff. And because the era you was in, you got an ear for that. You gotta have an ear for music. You was just explaining to me about instruments that I didn't even hear, and you had put me onto it. That's a DJ.
Well, you know why? I'm gonna tell you why. All those music schools and stuff like that my pop sent me to.
Music school. He was a special DJ.
I wasn't no DJ then. I didn't. There wasn't no DJ in that music school.
They went to DJ school.
No,
I went to real music school.
I went real music. Yeah, you know.
Like percussions, instruments.
James and Tume was one of my teachers.
When Juicy and
James and Tume was one of my music teachers. Yeah.
Wow.
Shout out to M2.
Shout out to M2.
God rest his soul. I didn't know who he was.
I
didn't know who he was, but you know, James and Tume. So
wow.
I was taught music. My pops just had me in stuff. So I had a love and affection for music.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, it was just more than DJing because I love, not only did I enjoy the DJs, but back then in the late 70s, there was always bands in the park because the bands got the permits and they just shared their time with the DJs. You know what I mean? So I used to love watching the bands play. You know what I mean? Because I was into music. You know, I want to see the drummer play. I want to hear the bass guy. You know what I mean? The guitar, the horn. You know, so
they both was there at the same time.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially in Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park always had the band playing. You know what I mean? I mean, the first time I saw the Fatback Band, they was playing in the park. You know what I mean?
Okay.
You know,
I DJ'd there at Lincoln Park one time. It was me. Shout out to Grandmaster Cass. It was me, him, and Crazy Legs.
Okay.
I remember Crazy Legs.
Okay. Crazy Legs.
Okay.
Yeah, they had the governor out there. They had the whole stage. It was dope. And Crazy Leg had his sons and nephews up there breakdancing on the stage, man. It was dope. It was dope, man. So
absolutely,
that's my first experience with Lincoln Park.
That Brooklyn stuff, Brooklyn was hot. Them parks was dangerous. I ain't gonna lie, but it was just something about it. Just kept showing up. Whenever you heard somebody was over here,
what part?
We go to Bushwick. Boom, we over here. I don't care where they was at. We was there.
I never heard nobody DJing in Brooklyn in the park.
Oh, they was DJing in the park.
Be kidding me.
What park?
They were DJing right across the street from my house. PS 190.
They had
not PS 190. PS 55.
They had the schoolyards. They had the parks. Let me tell you something.
I said 190 because I was talking to Terrell later. I mentioned that school. He with Steve. Shout out Steve. Shout out Terrell, man. Shout out to PS 190 and Sheffield between New Lots and Hegemon. That's where we used to have our little equipment out and stuff like that.
So again, I ain't beating up the Bronx though, but y'all did stuff that we admired, being from the other boroughs, right? Y'all would take a burnt out building and turn it into a damn club.
That's true.
Y'all would turn a burnt out building into a club, run the electricity in there, and y'all could be up on the 3rd floor in a 4-bedroom apartment, and it's a damn club and partying like that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't have that in Queens. We didn't have that many apartment buildings in Queens. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So y'all had that, but we had the ability to get the parks and the schoolyards. You know what I mean? The Board of Education would let us use the schoolyards. They didn't need no generators. They would let you plug into the school, into the park house, and all this other stuff. And so all you had to do is ask, and they would say, yeah, okay, you can come. Police didn't come shut you down, so everywhere, especially in the summer months, late spring and through the fall, every weekend, there was a jam. That's what we called them, a jam somewhere. And if you was in Queens, all you had to do is come outside about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And I know I could come out the crib and go stand on the corner of Foch Boulevard. Me and Shahi and Tony would go stand on the corner of Foch Boulevard and 135th Street to decide which way we're going to start walking. Because depending on who started playing first would determine who got the better crowd. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because if Sanford Sound was in Lincoln Park and they started playing first, we would walk up to Lincoln Park because you heard the bass. You know what I mean? If them cats was in Baisley Park, Baisley Park was clearly 2.5 or 3 miles away from where we was at. But you can hear the bass. Boom, boom. And we can hear it, we say, oh, that's Baisley. Because it came from that straight down Fox Boulevard. If it was boom, boom, and it was real clear, we knew it was in Ajax Park, right across the bridge. But if it was boom, boom, and it was deep, we said, oh, that's 48 Park, or that's Van Wyck Park. You know what I mean? Or you know what? If it was a little lower, you hit, that's 40 Projects. You know what I'm saying? And we are miles away. And we just start walking, follow. It was just like how the Africans did. They followed the sound of the drum, the bass drum.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's how they communicated. And well, that's how it was with us. And that's how we would find the jams. You know what I mean? And we knew if it was in a schoolyard, if it was in the park, and we could even tell who was DJing just based upon the bass, the sound, who sound system was. Now nobody had a better system in Queens than Infinity Machine. They had it hands down. You know what I mean? Even though the Twins had them birthers, but they were Johnny Come Latelys. You know what I mean? To the game. You know, they had them Richard Long birthers, and they was good. They was good. But when Goody had all his stuff out there, and he drove a DeLorean. You know what I mean? And he drove a DeLorean.
And he drove
a DeLorean.
A DeLorean.
You know what I mean?
Superstar status.
Right? So he had the baddest system. Now, when it comes to Brooklyn, I remember, I would have to say Flowers had the best sound system in Brooklyn. What you think, Rod?
Was he the top DJ in Brooklyn?
There were some other ones, but App and Flowers was ringing bells. Their names was ringing bells.
What was the group? What's his name? He died. DJ from Brooklyn. He died from COVID.
You talking about from Houdini?
No.
Who
the DJ that Lance. Yeah. What group Lance was originally in?
I thought he was originally in Houdini.
No, he wasn't.
No.
Lance was in a DJ crew out there before he went solo. From one of them old school groups. I don't know if he was down with Flowers or somebody.
I don't think he was down with Flowers. I forgot the name of it.
Yeah, Lance was down with somebody like that, you know.
But this dude that lived on Hercules Street was my first hearing a real sound system. That was my man Clayton. He called himself the Master Blaster. I don't know if you ever heard of Master Blaster. His joint was banging, and it was another dude named DJ Slide. Now, DJ Slide actually had to turn a bread truck into his sound system. Then you open the back of the bread truck. He had put shelves in there, his turntables in there. His speakers was all outside, but he was DJing out of like a bread truck, which was crazy. I never seen I kid you none.
That's crazy.
I kid you none. Dude roll up. He has his name on the bread truck, all that. Remember how they used to sell like the old police cars and old Con Ed trucks and whatever he did, he bought that truck somewhere. That joint was laced out doing a new paint job. Yo, people was getting creative, man. There was a lot of people like that maybe they didn't reach superstar famous status, but they all contributed to where we got today. Now, it was also the disco stompers. And they had a little system out of Bushwick. I remember I used to walk up there. It was the same thing. You hear that joint from blocks away. There was a lot of little
BPS was out of Bushwick. Bruce Punkin and Steve.
I never heard their system. I'm not saying they wasn't. I'm just saying
they was right off Bushwick Avenue there. What street was that they was on? Bruce Punkin and Steve. They had a sound system that was crazy. You know, that was Gene's older brother. Okay. You know, they had a system out there. They was doing the daggone thing out there in Bushwick.
Our little crew was called Majestic Sounds. Majestic Sounds. Yeah. But when I moved to Queens, like I said, Queens had a little more. They had some systems out there, but like at one point I had 2 Vegas. I know some other people had this, that, but one thing about Queens, like they'll get together for an occasion. Like if it's a big thing, we're like, well, you got 8 bottoms and you got 8. let's do Rockaway Day together. Everybody pull up their stuff. And I remember I remember I had Livio had 2 of our Vegas, and everybody thought that was just Livio's system. But at the beginning, we did do some piecemeal jobs and stuff like that, and it was all love. It was all love. Like nobody was really looking. They were trying to put their stamp on it, but nobody was really clout chasing like that. They would compete systems,
right?
Just like they had sound clashes and reggae. They had compete against systems. Of course, everybody wanted to have the best system, but that was something I couldn't afford to play that game at that time. You know what I mean? I wasn't in that mix. I was more of a novice at that time. I was fooling around, and later on, people like my parents, they bought me the stuff when I was 14. They didn't really think I would still be doing it, 40 years later or whatever. They just thought that they're gonna keep me out of trouble, keep me out of the streets or whatever it was. And
well, it did,
but they didn't see the other part. And the other part for them, my mom's caught the backlash because I used to practice off the same 2 records all the time. And she's like, well, you stop, you got nothing else, play something else. I play Love is a Message for like 40, 50 minutes straight.
Oh,
Good times for like an hour straight, bounce rock for another day. They got sick of hearing those same records. And and my father caught the backlash because when you the only kid on the block and you got a system, DJ equipment, your house became the hangout.
Yeah, it came to hang out. That's right.
And he didn't like that. Everybody hanging out. Don't your friends. You got tell your friends to go home.
Yeah.
Who drank all the Kool-Aid?
My mom's did the same thing, boy. That's right.
So we inconvenienced y'all, man. Thank y'all for putting up with us, man. We didn't realize it then. We just was caught in the moment. Now that we're a little older, we realize we put a lot of inconveniences on y'all.
It got so bad that they took the speaker outside and I threw the speaker wire down just so
go outside with that crap, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah. I used to DJ in my bedroom, open the windows up. That's when they were latches. I'm not gonna say we had them.
Right.
The latches on when the windows open. So I would throw the speaker wire out and I was able to just watch everybody come together outside while I'm in my bedroom.
All right, so we getting a little technical for the common folk. They don't know about B-52s and Pickering needles and all that. Like, let's talk to the masses right now, because how did we get from where it started 50 years ago to the state of hip hop today? And actually, how do you feel about the state of hip hop today, opposed to 50 years? It was a big transition. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. That's a whole nother can of worms we're about to open up.
We went from talking about social issues, in hip hop, and then it went to the braggadocious issue. Well, not issue, but the braggadocious phase of hip hop. Then it went to the lover boy, smooth operator phase, to somewhat of a hustler phase. Then came Murder, Death, Kill. And after Murder, Death, Kill, the supervised sexual rap came in with the drug culture. So now we have the drug culture of hip hop with Murder, Death, Kill mixed with that, and the slut culture for the women of hip hop. So we've come a long way, and we took something that was positive, that changed the world. And I think that the times that changed over these 50 years, where it was and where it's at, I ain't proud of hip hop today. If I was making money off it, I might feel different. But even in it, I wouldn't put out this slut music and this promote the drug culture, use drugs, because you know what? Pop culture shaped them older minds. You know what I mean? When Marvin Gaye sang a song, he said, "What's going on?" Everybody was in tune with that song. You know what I mean? That was a movement. Those songs created a movement. A song like, Ain't No Stopping Us Now. That was a motivational song. Good Times. They was motivational songs, and that was hip hop. You know, they cut, you know what I'm saying? You know, love is the message. You know, how we get to the bag, Cardi B, talk about the bag, you know, wet ass pussy, you know. What's going on here?
I can tell you what's going on. In 1997, right? In 1997.
When Lil' Kim did it, right?
No. The Source magazine outsold Rolling Stone magazine. And that was a monumental moment because the culture vultures were swarming at that point. And it's just a business. It's business. It was targeted. It was intentional. And they didn't really care about the people as much. They we just care about making money off of it. And that's where it turned into. It wasn't all about money when it started. It was all about, it's something new, and this is something of our own. This is how we releasing our stress. You know, you play some joints in there. Like, we talking about Melly Mel, Broken Glass everywhere, all that stuff.
The message.
Yeah. That was like telling our story. That was our chance to tell our story.
Duke Booty. God rest his soul.
Nobody don't care about your story. They care about numbers. Yeah, we had this conversation recently. Look, I got a family member doing business, boo, boo, boo. The next day you said to me, yo, analytics is looking crazy. Like their numbers is good, like, because we know that's the first thing people look at.
It's the numbers.
If they don't have some kind of social media presence or their numbers don't look right, you know.
Who are you?
And if you ain't got no haters, you ain't popping. You know, it's all that.
It's terrible.
It went there, but there was a lot of other monumental moments. But according to what I was doing a little research, it said a lot of people say 97 was the greatest year of hip hop for these reasons that we looking at. You know, it was Jay-Z coming on. It was, you know, a notorious P. Diddy stamp on things, and you know.
You think so?
I mean, I have to kind of agree with it, man, because like there was Park Jams and then there was Grand's Tomb. Like when Grand's Tomb, you know, that was like 94. I've been to many Park Jams, but when I went there, it was something different.
It was.
it was something different, man. I mean,
Grand's Tomb was something different.
You know, I see Diddy done had the guys out there with their shirts on, Bad Boy 94. Big Mac and all that. He had Craig Mack and Biggie, and you know, that's how people started breaking artists. That's how they started attaching themselves to like Arista and the big boys. And the big boys got it because they was like, we're gonna get behind this and invest in it because they're gonna make money. That's it. This became a money grab for a lot of people, not for everybody, but a lot of people ain't in it for the culture. They in it for the money. That's the reality of the situation.
Let me ask you. To you, if I'm gonna say this the best way I can, a MC and a rapper, right? The difference between an MC and a rapper to you is what?
MC, man, master of the ceremony. Do I need to say anything else?
Well, I'm gonna say this. To me, the MC, an MC kept the party going. You know what I mean? He was the guy who had the crowd participation going. He complimented the DJ because it was back then. It was all about the DJ, right? And the MC was just the cherry on top of the DJ. You know what I'm saying? But he, you know, he had to wave your hands in the air, you know, and say ho. He kept the crowd partying. He kept the people dancing and partying. That was the MC.
So that's when rap came about.
These rappers, they made records. They wrote songs. You know what I mean? They didn't really come off the top of their head to motivate the crowd. MCs came off did little crafty things to motivate the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Rappers sat down with a pen and paper, listened to a beat, and wrote rhymes to make a record.
Well,
you know what I mean?
And
a rapper and an MC is not the same. You know what I mean?
No, definitely not. And that's my point where I'm getting at for 50 years of hip hop. MCs makes 50 years of hip hop, I think.
I mean, it's a combination, man. It's a lot of different facets made 50 years of hip hop. And like I said, it's a lot of people that that's behind the scenes that still contributed to it, that we don't know their names and we never met them yet. You know, it's a lot of people that contributed, but like everything else, people come in, they swoop down, they buy us out.
Yep.
And we think they did it.
But look, check this out.
Look how much stuff we started and somebody picked up our ideas.
For years.
Nobody know we did it.
To me, the greatest rap record of all time, to me, was The Message. Right? Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5, right?
Shout out to Raheem.
There was only 3 people who rhymed on that record.
Raheem
Raheem, Melly Mel, and Duke Booty. And Duke Booty wrote the record. You know what I mean? Duke Booty was from New Jersey. He wasn't even from Manhattan or the Bronx. He was from he was from Irvington, New Jersey. Duke Booty. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And they collaborated on that, but he was the main writer of that song. And most people didn't even know that he did. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But to me, that was the greatest record. If I gotta call it, of all time, hip hop, rap, The Message. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I like where hip hop is at today in certain things. You know, I came up, you know, hey, Fat Boys era, Fat Boys,
right.
Run DMC, Beat Street, all that stuff.
Right.
That's what we were part of. And you know, hey, Fat Boys was my friends type of situation. So I seen them turn nothing into something. It started to become like we never really looked at it like a career move back then. It was entertainment. But then today, these artists have much more of an entrepreneurial spirit. You know what I mean? Like our goal back then was to try to get a record deal or sign on to a company, some already established engine. And you know what? They would pimp the hell out of us. You know what I mean? But at some point, we reached a status where we started looking at how we could control our own publishing, how we could do splits with the companies and all that. Those options wasn't on the table for those artists that started 50 years ago. You know, they paved the way for these artists, but I don't feel like these artists are really paying homage to that. But that would be equivalent to, like, you know, a new school basketball player. He might not have grew up watching Dr. J, but that don't mean Dr. J's contribution wasn't important. You know what I mean? It's like they only, like, whoever heard of Duke Booty? How, you think you could talk to one of these guys and they know who that is? They don't. They're not studying the history. Most people, but the people that really take time to study the history, these are the guys that's gonna be the most successful, because you got to know how it started and how it got to here in order to have the best situation to put yourself in the game. You know what I mean? You got to give yourself an advantage. We started a whole new avenue. We wasn't thinking about owning a radio station 40 years ago. We'd be happy if we could be on the outside of a radio station. We'd be like, yo, they in there. Yeah, that's the radio station. One day I would get in there. One day I'm a DJ in the radio. That was like something we didn't really think was true. We didn't think we could own something like that or be a part of something like that. We wasn't thinking like that. But somewhere along the line, yeah, people started being entrepreneurs. Somewhere along the line, like our parents was teaching us to go to school so you can get a good job. All of a sudden, that changed to, if I went into a school to do a speaking today and I asked the kids, hey, what would you like to be when you grow up? Nobody's saying a carpenter. Nobody's saying electrician. Nobody's saying, they saying something music related or entertainment or sports related. They want to be a basketball player. They want to be a hip hop artist. They want to be a singer. They want to be a super producer. At most, you might have some other people that might be on the computer side of things or the design part of things. You know, hip hop has created a lot of jobs for our people that wasn't in place before. There's a lot more stylists that got to be hired. There's a lot of clothing lines that's been established, and you know what they realize with hip hop is that we are the culture that spends the most money on clothes, jewelry, and all that stuff. So they started we became targets.
The image, yeah.
Liquid money.
Liquid money.
We are
Say it again,
money.
bro.
Liquid money. You know, listen, let me tell you something. Even the way we brag, right? You know, remember I told you that story, you know, about the comedian. He said white folks and black folks, they're very braggadocious, right? Asian people are different, right? White folks brag, they'll say, you know, little Johnny, his school is very, very expensive. You know, it's very expensive. You know, they'll say, well, you know, the renovations on the house went way over budget, way over budget. You know, that's how white people brag, right? Now, black people, how they brag? They walk to their car and they point to their car. Yo, Sauce, pay $80,000 for this car. Pay 80 G's for this car, right? I brought my mother a house. Paid $500,000 for it. I brought this chain. Paid $1 million for this chain. That's how black people brag, right? Now Asians, right? How do Asians brag? They come in with something. They say, "Guess how much I paid?" No. How much you paid, mommy, auntie, bruh? No, guess how much I paid? Because they wasn't bragging about how much money they had or how much money they spent. They're bragging about how much money they saved, how much money they didn't spend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
See, we brag differently. You know what I'm saying? So you know what? It is what it is.
Hip hop sells products, bro.
Hip hop sells products.
My father told me, he said, yo, I thought this was just a fad or phase that y'all were going through. He said, if I'd have known this stuff was going, it's in every movie and every commercial, every He said, if I'd have known this, he said, I'd have really got behind y'all a lot more. I would have, you know, fully invested. Yeah, well, we had the opportunity to do that. That's why I'm not gonna look at the kids today and don't get behind them. It don't have to be my cup of tea, but what they doing now might really be the future 50 years from now. So if you in early, you in.
I got something I want to read. I'm going to share part of hip hop. Yeah, because I was totally dead. Thank you.
The boss of Source, of course.
Yeah.
DJ Hot Source.
Yo, me, Pook and I was talking about, I want to go back to DJs. Kool Herc wasn't really a DJ, man, to for what he was saying, because name what club he played in.
Listen.
Okay, he said, they said Cedric Avenue on that side of town by River Park Towers. This is where he started over there. Outside or in his apartment with the speakers out, or the center.
Whatever he did, he was there.
Riding around with them big speakers in the back of his Duesenberg or whatever that was.
All of them had their contribution, man. Everybody, from Zulu Nation to the 5% Gods of Earth, everybody bought into this hip hop culture. It was something that we claimed it and we owned it, and nobody was better than us at it. And as much as they tried, we fought to hold on as long as we could until they input their little stank on it.
Yo, not to get on.
Nah, man, what you want to go with?
By us being live now, they just click on not click on to the website. Would they be able to see us?
I think we broadcasting on the book and YouTube right now, right, TP?
Yeah, the book, YouTube.
Okay.
But we can put it wherever we want to put it.
Okay.
Where you want it to go. That's the question.
Hold on. I got a fellow DJ shared this hip hop fact. Said we give honors to Kool Herc, the father of First Party Jam on the west side of the Bronx, as we also were given jams since 1970 on the southeast Bronx with Cool DJ D.
Can't forget Mario.
Disco King Mario, and DJ Hollywood.
Can't meet her.
Love Bug Starsky. And in our zone as the Black Spades, the organization, the Almighty Zulu Nation, and the Chuck City crew.
That's right. That's right. And if, in my opinion, DJ Hollywood got more skin in the game than everybody.
That is true.
In my opinion, Hollywood got more skin in the game.
That is true. That is definitely true. By age.
By default.
By default.
He was by default. Now Hollywood was like I said, man, it was some incredible
he was
talent
special.
out here.
Shout out to DJ Hollywood.
Yeah, man.
Yo, he was a different guy because he was blended with the white people already.
How many people can say they DJ at Studio 54?
Yes.
Out of all the people you listen
Out of all the people, that's right. Now, one person said they DJ at Studio 54, but him.
Hollywood.
But him.
Yeah,
when he came in,
he got in some doors the average person wasn't opening.
Yes.
That's true.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm trying to figure out when
because he was an entertainer. He was the DJ and the MC.
I think Mario did that too. He was another one that DJ'd and MC'd at the same time. I never seen that when I saw Mario do it.
There's a lot of others, especially out the Bronx, that we just forgetting. But if we forgot to mention your name, just charge it to our head, not to our heart. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. If y'all listening out there and you know crews, DJs from back then, give us a call at 888-304-4401 and tell us, who do you know as a favorite DJ back? Who was your favorite DJ back when?
Whose cassette tape you had? I had the Ron G tapes.
Shout out to Ron G.
Yeah, I had the Ron G's, the Brucey B's. Man, it's so many. But on the Queens things, we had the Grandmaster Vicks. We had
the original.
We had the DJ Rod
from the Bronx. The original Wiz Kid.
The original Wiz Kid.
Yeah, he was tall, skinny, light skinned, real nerdy.
I was getting ready to say
real nerdy and cut the record to the bone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I remember when they first brought us up to the T Connection to perform, Sandwich brought us up there. And his mission to bring us up there was to link us up with Wiz Kid, because Wiz Kid didn't have no MCs. You know what I mean? Wiz Kid had all the talent as a DJ, but he had no MCs. Yeah, because all the MCs in the Bronx was taken already. And Sandwich brought us from Queens up there to meet Wiz Kid so we could be his MCs.
That's crazy.
Hey, yo, I got shout out to my wife, man. I'm gonna shout her out. But y'all not gonna
what group she was with?
She's with the Rudd Financial Group. LLC. but she says she want to know how come none of my friends got real names. She said all your friends, she said, is Hot Sauce, Dutchy Bang, TP, Z Pat.
Because we was from the streets and nobody never said it. Nobody
witness protection.
Nobody never. Wow. Wow.
Right.
Witness protection.
Yeah.
Well, coming up, nobody never called nobody by their real name in the street.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
Mm-hmm.
Never called.
That's funny. So you got your answer, honey? That's why.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, when did Breakout and them come with these pyramids of, like, they would battle? Okay, the Bronx. Now, DJ, shout out to DJ Breakout.
Forgot about that, right?
Yo,
What about Shake Bass? He Harlem though, right? Shake Bass.
is he?
Yeah, I think they Harlem. Cause yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, damn. Oh, Peaceful. Shout out to Peaceful too. That's Harlem though. That's Harlem. Peaceful PA. That's
and Supreme.
Yeah, these guys have systems, man, and they still DJing. Still, I know Peaceful still DJing. Shout out, yeah,
World famous Supreme. Mm-hmm.
But that might be borderline Bronx, Manhattan. But I think they more on the Manhattan side of things, you know. But anyway, look what we're gonna do. We're gonna close this segment out in the next few minutes. We're gonna get back to the music. And it's gonna be another part to this. It's probably gonna be 20 more segments because we didn't even scratch the surface yet.
No.
We got this is just like one penny in the piggy bank of all the stuff that we got to talk about. It's gonna be a series. 50 years of hip hop, part 24.
I got another
on Gynesis Radio.
Yeah. I got another 20 minutes to spare.
All right, so go in there and jump on the ones and twos and just hit him in the head with a 2-puff head bust.
With a 2-head bust.
That 2-puff head bust. That's what it is. Hot Sauce gonna jump on there on the 1 and 2s and give y'all a little bit more of this 2-puff head bust of this 50 years of hip hop.
Definitely.
Put his stank on it. He gonna put his stank on it.
He gonna put it on it, y'all.
I'm gonna put a lot of stank on that one, man.
You got Let Me Lay My Funk on You. You gonna cut that up? Let me lay my funk on you.
I may play Ain't We Funky now.
Yeah, man.
How about that?
That's cool. I gotta
beat
up
some
for that.
funk on it.
I got beat up for that other one.
Let me tell you something, man.
My grandma said, "What you said?" I said, "Funk."
You better play some James Brown up in there. How we talk about 50 years of hip hop? You ain't played no James Brown, man. You know what I mean? But
that's
got to be in here. That for me, I'm just saying,
I got you.
It's the word on the street, right? It's the word on the street. It's what the peoples want to hear.
How you DJ and and talk about 50 years of hip hop, and it was no DJ or MC who didn't rhyme off James Brown. James Brown has made more money off hip hop than any artist in the world.
Yeah,
James Brown.
Yeah,
the most sampled artist in the world. James Brown.
Oh my God.
In the JBs.
I'm gonna say less. He going in.
Yeah, he about to go in there and hit him in the head with that 2-puff head bust. So y'all pick up on it before you drop it. Hot Sauce is about to get all up in your ear hole.
We see y'all on the next segment, man. Peace.
Yes, y'all.